Hey everybody, Lee here from PcjunkieMods. So I'm gonna start. This is video 2 for my client build number 2. I'm gonna be making a subfloor, so let me show you what I'm making. All right, so what I got here is a thin piece of aluminum. As you can see, it's pretty thin here. So I don't know, less than 1/8 inch. It's pretty close. So, but anyways, so you can see where I have it marked out. I did all the measurements on the inside. This would be the back of the case here. This would be toward the front, toward the window. So this is notched for the there's a little plate that runs across the right next to the hard drive rack, so this will come all the way up to the hard drive rack. And then there's a little pop out here, so I had to there'll be a notch there, and then also a notch here. And this is stepped, so I'm gonna have to get rid of this piece down here also. So I mean, for the most part, it should just drop right in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting. I'll get my table saw out and I'll rip this down. And I'm actually gonna make 2 of them because I think I'm gonna end up using another one in another build. So I'll just go ahead and duplicate it now, so I don't have to duplicate it later. And that's it. So I'll show you guys some cutting. So most important things when using power tools: protection, safety, goggles, face mask. So I use these face masks. They're pretty easy. They're better than those other ones, those cheapies. These are cheap too, but you get the point. And then I have my goggles. I also have the MMPC Tech safety glasses that I use when I'm using my Dremel. But for this stuff, there's freaking gonna be aluminum flying all over the place. I use this stuff for acrylic too. So what I did here is I put a piece of acrylic up against here so the aluminum doesn't slide underneath my fence. I just clamped it on there, and pretty much that's it. I'm just going to run this through. I'll run it through twice because I want another piece over here.
Johnny Cash and PBR, Jack Daniels, NASCAR, Facebook, MySpace, iPod, Bill Gates, Smith & Wesson, NRA, Firewater, Paleface, Dimebag, Tupac, heavy metal, hip-hop. What you fear most, what you need, what you made me, the American dream. I'm not selling out, I'm fighting in, I will not be forgotten. This is my time to shine. I've got the scars to prove that only the strong survive. I'm not afraid of dying, everyone has their time. Life never favored weakness. Welcome to the pride. Disneyland, White House, JFK and Mickey Mouse, John Wayne, Springsteen, Eastwood, James Dean, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Playboy, Tax Me, NFL, NBA, Brett Favre, King James. All American, living the dream. What you fear most, anarchy. I'm not selling out, I'm riding in. I will not be forgotten. This is my time to shine. I've got the scars to prove that only the strong survive.
All right, guys. So I got some water blocks installed and stuff. Wait, what's going on? Wait, what?
I'm here. I'm here to help.
Dwight's here.
Yep.
Cool. So now we get some good video footage instead of my footage, you know. So.
But it's not gonna do me any good being over here.
Oh yeah. Well,
the
the camera's over there. Huh?
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
All
You
right,
do your
cool.
thing.
So now that Dwight's over there behind the camera, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in here. So I got the Titan blocks on and the back plates. I got the CPU block in there. I got the motherboard blocks in. I also got the pump mods and stuff installed. This reservoir is actually my reservoir. The reservoir that Bobby ordered for this build was the blood red one, but he actually wanted the UV. So this one's kind of just in here for static, so I can get an idea of what fittings I'll need for the setup. So that's the stage I'm at right now. I need to figure out what fittings I need, so that way Bobby can order all that stuff and get that out to me. So I think I already showed you guys, and got the radiator down here. I have the excuse me, I have the subfloor just kind of sitting in here right now. So this is the subfloor that I created for this build. As you can see, it fits in there perfect right now. when I put it in permanently, it'll actually dip underneath this lip where the door goes onto. But if I do that right now, it's kind of a pain in the butt to get back out, so I don't want to do that. And then I'll also be tapping a couple screws in the back corners here at the bottom of the motherboard tray, and either the screw will come in from the bottom or the top. I'm not sure yet. I haven't done that. So right now we're at the stage of fittings. And let me spin this around here. And then here in the front, you can see in here I have the 2 ports on this rad here and this rad here. The ports are toward the front, so because we're going to have a valve here for drain, so I don't want to have it too cramped by having a bridge and you know, trying to get a valve in between the fittings and stuff. So I figured I'm going to have to go down to that end anyway to come through the subfloor for the video card. There'll still be 2 lines that go through the subfloor. So I think I know how I'm gonna run the lines and stuff. So I don't know. I'm still looking at it. But anyways, so yeah. So there's gonna be a lot going on down here in the bottom because I'll have to bridge. I think I'll come in at the top, or actually I'm gonna come in at the bottom and I'll come out of the top. So that makes less resistance for the air. So the air will push right out. And then when I come out here, it's gonna go down and bridge into this one. And it'll probably bridge into the bottom of this radiator and then come out at the top. And where this one right here is where I'm going to put the port down here. It'll be a valve and then it'll be capped off, and probably a 3-way or something like that. So that'll all come out right about, I'll have 1 port through the middle here that'll come out of this out of the pump, because this is the out. So my plan is go reservoir straight into the pumps and then out, and it'll come down at an angle, go through the floor, it'll tie into this rad, and then this rad will tie into that rad, and it's going to come back through probably either right here into the video cards, and then I think from the video cards to the top rad, and then from the top rad to here, and then from here over to here, and then from CPU out to there, and this one will come over and either down to plug into the reservoir. I'm not sure yet, because if I go up, because obviously the reservoir he has is the 250 millimeters, so it's going to be a lot taller. So I don't really think I want to come over the RAM and then back up here. So I think I'm just going to end up going down to the bottom of the res, and that should pretty much finish off the fittings. So now to figure out what fittings. All right, so we are at the point where I think we have all the fittings figured out. My customer Bobby, he told me if we have to order a couple extra or a few extra fittings, better safe than sorry. Then again, we don't want to spend a couple $100 on extra fittings too. So I did a lot of, me and Dwight actually sat here for the last 4 hours and measured and measured and measured, and I think we got it. So basically some of the important things that'll be going on here, I'm going to show you the down here. I've already kind of touched on this. I have an angle in here right now, so this angle is going to come out, it's going to shoot all the way back to the 240, and they're going to bridge together at the bottom. Now right off that angle I'm going to have a valve, and actually I'll have a manifold that the valve will plug into. So it'll be a manifold, a 90 out, and then there will be a valve that'll be right here toward the front of the computer, and so basically you'll be able to drain that. So that'll be bridged in between the two radiators. That is going to be the lowest point, so the liquid will, you know, once you open the fill port on the back, because I'll have a fill port up here in the top, so once I open that and open this, it'll just, this whole system should come right out. So that's that. And then what we've decided up here is we're going to have a drawing a blank here. We'll have a splitter. It's like a 3-way kind of a T basically, and then it'll come out into a rotary fitting, and it'll go to the fill port, which will be based in, we're hoping we're going to be able to put it through this. This is a thick piece of metal, so I'm going to have to drill through that and make it look nice. And then and another thing I wanted to tell you guys about, obviously there's going to be a bunch of random fittings. I talked to Bobby, he doesn't want to use any crystal link. I was going to originally crystal link these parts together, here and here, and we've decided he decided he doesn't like that look. Here's my piece of tape. That was my marker earlier. Anyway, so another thing I want to tell you guys about, instead of just taking like the tube and stuff and going through the floor, well, actually I'm going to put fill ports so it makes a clean transition through the floor. So I'll come out here. This will be reservoir into the pump directly in, and then it'll come out right here and it'll go at a 45-degree angle. It'll transition through a fill port that will be on the back side. Another fitting will plug in and tie in the radiators. Now for the exit out of the radiator, it's going to come up right underneath this video card. It'll also be another fill port, which I'll be able to put a compression fitting in and a compression fitting in here. Now we still need to get the bridge for the two video cards, so that's another thing that Bobby will be ordering, because I think he ordered the wrong one originally. So that's pretty much it. I mean, I think we got it all figured out. So from there, now actually I got to tear this whole PC apart, and I'm going to, some of the things that Bobby and I have talked about is adding some red to this case. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to tear the whole thing down. I'm actually going to dismantle this whole case. I know it's going to be so much fun because I'm sure there's a lot of rivets. I noticed there's a lot of screws, so that makes life a little easier. So most likely we're thinking red for this metal piece here on the front of the case. The mesh on the top will be red, and then on the back this also will be red. And I'm going to talk to, because it's going to be powder coated, so I'm going to talk to my powder coat guy, and I'm hoping he can two-tone this. So this will stay black, and then the I/O shield will probably be red, and then on the inside you'll have the motherboard tray, the floor, and I think Bobby wanted this area red also. I'm not sure, I can't remember, so I'll have to talk to him about that. And he wants to do the rads red, so I'm going to have to talk to my powder coat guy about two-toning. Well, not necessarily two-toning it, but not getting the fins, because obviously we don't want to cake powder coat onto the actual fins, because the more stuff you put on those fins, the less chance at cooling. So I think that's about it for this video, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for viewing, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe below. Till next time.
Welcome to the bride.